Oi, oi. We have got area of a circle during this video. On your formula sheet, again, this one's on there, and it will talk about pi multiplied by the radius squared. Okay, so the radius being half the way across from the circumference to the center of the circle. A1 is what I'm going to look at, which is on the third sheet of the Easter booklet. And the first question says a circle has a radius of 23 millimeters. And again, like I said in the last video, draw it out, label it so you can see what you've got. And then the next line says, calculate the area of a circle. So first thing I'm going to do is then write out what I need to do. So I'm going to take the formula off the formula sheet and write it on like we can see there now. And then I'm going to place in my radius. Here's my method mark. And then I'm off and running. So then on the calculator, all I've now got to do is just do 23 squared equals 529. And then multiply that by pi. I don't even need to do that. I'm just doing it as we're going along. Multiply it by pi gives us 161 and then 902, and then it goes on for a fair chunk of time. So you can see it's quite a chunky number, but bearing in mind we're in millimeters and we are now trying to cover all of this area inside of the circle. So it's okay actually for that value to be fairly substantial. What I'm now going to do is round it. I'm going to round it to 1 decimal place again. So I've now got then a final answer of 1661.9 based off of 9 being the decimal point and 0 being my deciding number for that 1 dp. My units of measure for this one would be millimeters and squared. And that's effectively what we are trying to do now is fill inside this shape all with little squares in there. Every time I draw a square, it comes out a circle. Not good. Okay. But that is how we find the area of a circle with a radius. We've now got A2, which now talks about where we've got how to find the area of a circle when you've got the diameter. Okay, so we still want our circle drawn. Again, it's not drawn on the sheet, so we might as well draw it up. But this time it's telling us that our diameter is 21 centimeters this time. I want a radius. So again, my first mark's going to come from halving that up, which is going to give me 10.5 centimeters as a radius. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll label it just so I know what I've got, where I've got it. Again, importance of writing out that working out. I've now got my pi multiplied by my radius squared. That's definitely now securing me at least 1 mark, if not 2. And then it's then just over to the calculator to then work that out for us. So I've got 10.5 squared multiplied by pi gives me an answer of, I'm just going to write it down here so I've got a bit more space, 346.3605900, and then it carries on going. Okay. Going to round this to 1 dp again. So I've got a 6 as my deciding number. So this time I've got to round it up. So I've got 346.4. And then I've got centimeters squared this time based off of the fact that I started with centimeters there. That's how you find the area of a circle. As you go through and it talks about, I think particularly C2 I'm picking out, is then talking about a semicircle. A semicircle would then just be thinking about just half of that shape. And again, draw it out, think about what you've got, look at then what you know. So if I'm just looking now at that shaded area, I've now got to take my answer and then divide it by 2 to then give me that then semicircle, which is then only half of the circle rather than the full. So for a full circle, do as you see on the screen. If it's a semicircle, then we're going to take that answer and then divide it by 2 to then give us that semicircle that we need. And that is that.